Welcome to 1.5b. This is the second part of literal equations. We're going to be continuing with what we did on our last lesson of slides. As always, if you need to pause the video to be able to catch up or write anything down, do so. That's the benefit of having these. Okay, so first off to start, what we're still talking about is how to solve equations for letters in the context of more letters. Okay, so here for these first 6 boxes are 6 useful formulas that we're going to be using. This is the circumference of a circle. Okay, circumference is equal to 2 pi times the radius of the circle. The area of a circle, area equals pi, and the squared of the radius. Volume of a rectangular prism, that's volume is equal to length times width times height. And if I just might write that down actually. Volume equals length times width times height. Okay, slope-intercept form, this is your normal linear equation formula. We have area of a triangle here, which is just area equal to the base of a triangle times the height of a triangle divided by 2. Okay, and this is our distance formula, which is distance equal to rate or speed times time. Okay? So, these are our useful formulas that we'll be using here. In each of these, and in the following section, we're going to be reviewing a little bit of what we did last time in 1.5a. So, on example 1, we have a here. Again, we're asked to solve for r. To do that, we need to be able to get rid of this 2 pi here. It's 2 times pi times r, so what we want to do is divide out that 2 pi. And that should leave us with r equal to c over 2 pi. Okay, moving on to the area is equal to pi r squared. Again, we're looking for pi. So that means we need to get rid of everything else that isn't pi on this side. That includes the r squared. We're going to divide it away. Those cancel for us, and I should have canceled those for you so you can see. Leaving us with pi equal to area over r squared. And remember, we leave it unsimplified because I don't know what a divided by r is. Okay? Moving on then to the next one. Remember, this is volume equals length times width times height, and we're solving this time for the width. So what do we need to get rid of? We need to get rid of the L. We need to get rid of the H. We move them to the other side. Those cancel for us. And we're left with W, or our width, is equal to our volume over our length times our height. Let's go to D. Here we're asked to solve for B. Well, in this case, the B is being added to the mx. So instead of dividing the mx away, what we want to do is subtract it away because it's not attached to that B. Okay? That should give us y minus mx equal to B. Or, remember, we want to have our solved for variable on our left-hand side right there. B equals y minus mx. Here we're going to be asked to solve for B. First thing that we want to do when we have this, we want to get rid of those 2, the 2 on the bottom. The 2's will cancel, leaving us with 2 times A equals B times H. Once again, we're asked to solve for B, so we want to be able to get rid of that H there, divide both sides with the H. Okay, our H's cancel, leaving us with B equal to 2A over H. And then our last one, we're solving for R. Okay, R is here, we need to get rid of the T, divide both sides of your equation by T. Leaves us with R equals D over T. Just like that. Now, we're going to be using the formulas that we've been given, okay, to be able to solve our examples for example 2 and for example 3. The first formula that we need to be using is our distance formula, as it says. We use the distance formula to help you answer the story problem. So I'm going to write that down here just so we can see it. D equals R times T. Okay, zoom back in here. So, what they're going to be doing in this problem is they're going to give you two of the 3. That means they'll either give you distance, they'll give you distance and rate, distance and time, or rate and time. Okay, it's our job to find the missing one. So in this case, let's kind of read through the problem and let's highlight what each of those are. Melanie rode her bike 12 miles. So that's going to be right here is our distance. Traveling 6 miles per hour. Now, per hour, it basically is telling you that it's a speed. Rate is your speed. So I want to put an R right here. And how long did it take her? Well, length, or length of time, is going to be our T. So what information do we have? We have our distance, which is 12. We have our rate, which is 6. And we're looking for how much time it takes. Okay? So now we just need to solve the normal formula. Divide both sides of your equation by 6. 6's cancel. And that should leave you with T equals 2. But 2 what? The important part about these equations is that we have to bring them into context. Okay? We can't just leave it as 2. We have to understand what kind of 2 we're talking about. It's measured in time, and time is normally measured in hours, minutes, seconds, and so forth. If we go back and read the problem, what does it tell us? That Melanie rode her bike for 12 miles, traveling 6 miles per hour. Because hours in the problem, that's how much time it's going to take us. 2 hours. We need to make sure that we have the full answer, which includes the units of measurement. Okay, let's move down to B. Here it says turbo took. And we're going to do the same thing that we did here with the D, R, and the T. Try and pause it. Highlight the things that you think that you need are R or T or D. Okay? So, turbo took 4 hours to travel 32 miles. 4 hours. That seems like it's a length of time. To travel 32 miles. That seems like a distance. And how fast we're going is going to be our rate. So let's fill in what we know. Do we know distance? Yeah, it's 32. Do we know R, which is our rate? Yeah. Well, no, we don't actually. That's what we're looking for. Do we know what our T is? Well, it's 4 hours. Okay. So what is our job here? Well, we've got to solve for R. So we're going to divide 4 on both sides. The 4's cancel, and that should leave us with, it's an arrow by the way, R equal to 8. But again, 8 what? What are we measuring in? We're measuring in miles, and we're measuring in hours. So that means it's miles per hour. Alright, simple enough. Last examples. Here, instead of using the distance formula, it's asking us to use the area of a triangle to complete the following story problems. So let's go and look at what the area of a triangle is. The area of a triangle is this one right here. Okay, so what we want to write down here is area, or A, equals B times H over 2. Okay, that's the formula that we'll be working with. So it asks us, and again, the same thing that we did for the distance where we filled in D, R, and T, we need to do here. It asks us what is the height of the triangle when the area is 10 centimeters squared. Okay, so that's going to be area, and the base is 2 centimeters. So now let's fill in what we know. Okay, do we know what our area is? Yeah, it's 10. Do we know what our base is? Yeah, it's 2. Do we know what our height is? No, that's what we're looking for. If I'm going to leave it as H, we're going to leave it as 2. And the great thing about this is our 2's cancel, and that gives us H is equal to 10. But it says here, remember, the area is expressed in units squared. We have to remember that we put our units in. Now, it's not going to be centimeters squared because that's our area. What we found here is the same kind of thing as the length, and they label it as centimeters. So we're going to do the same here. So, just so you understand, area is squared. Base and height are not. Okay? Just so we understand. Okay? That's why it's centimeters and not centimeters squared here. Now it's asking us what the base of a triangle is with an area of 54 and a height of 12. Fill in what we know. Our area is 54. We don't know what our base is, so we're going to put B times our height, which is 12, over 2. Okay? Now, what we can do is we can simplify this down. 12 divided by 2 That's going to be 54 equaling b times 12 divided by 2 is 6. Our next step is going to be dividing away that 6 from both sides of our equation. Our 6's cancel, and that should leave us with b equal to 54 divided by 6 is 9. And remember, it's base we're looking for, so it's centimeters. Okay, that's all we have for 1.5b. Let me zoom out just so you can kind of get a context of everything here that we've done. All right, if you need to take a screenshot, it'd be good now, or pause the video so you can write down anything you missed. If you have any more questions, ask your teacher.